This is what I do, man. And I'm good. Yo guys, what's up? Josh Giunta here for Love Science Music, and welcome to my producer's diary. Episode number 1. I'm going to start doing a daily or close to daily documentation video blog of all the different work I do. So I'll be sharing all the different projects I engineer here at GSI Studios in New York, as well as all the projects I do as a producer for Love Science Music, which is my production company. So I'll be sharing a lot of the music I'm working on, a lot of the people I work with, and as well as a lot of tricks and tips, production, mixing, mastering, recording process. And really the whole idea is just to document my journey further up into the music industry and to share my process. So there's two main things I need to get done today in the studio. One is master an album. The second is to bounce some mix stems for a client that I mixed a couple songs for. The album that I'm mixing is for one of the in-house records that we're working on. GSI Studios has a record label called GSI Records, and two of the owners of the studio, Dan and Austin, have a band together called the Carl 2000, and they recorded a 10-song album of kind of free jazz, free acoustic jazz with like weird groove elements. All of the songs have the word love in the title. It's all cover songs. So I pulled them all into the session, put them in the order that they're going to be on for the album, and then I started listening through kind of briefly to each track, comparing levels. So my goal is to get all the levels to be the same, all the volumes, and I kind of go through each track and do similar things that I do in a mix, being different types of EQ, compression, saturation. I either widen the stereo field or tighten the stereo field. Sometimes I add a little reverb, and the overall goal is to make everything louder, clearer, fuller, wider, and to make all the different mixes, all different songs sound the same. So that's the ultimate goal. After that Pro Tools processing, all the tracks are going into some outboard gear. They're going into a Neve outboard compressor and also a dangerous outboard compressor, which is behind me. And after that, they're feeding back into Pro Tools, where I'm doing a little bit more master bus work. And that's kind of my mastering process in a nutshell. It's an EQ, a 5-band EQ, but you can EQ the mono part of your mix differently than the stereo, which means this EQ section EQs anything that you panned in the middle of your mix. So anything that's panned dead center gets EQ'd here, and then anything that you've panned hard left, hard right gets EQ'd here. So if you want to make your mix wider sounding, like something that I often like to do, in the stereo section I would boost the top end in a few different frequency ranges, and so that would bring up like the high frequencies on the sides of your mixes. And then also, to clear up a little cloudiness in a mix, I often cut the low end in the stereo field on the sides. Second thing on the agenda today is to bounce mixed stems of a song I mixed for producer Chris Ligio, a friend of mine. All right. So I'm about to do a mix recall of this song, which means that this is a mix I did like a month ago, and while I was mixing, I was using a lot of plugins in the computer, but I was also using a lot of EQ on the board and using some outboard gear, compression, and outboard EQ for the master. So I need to recall all those settings, and so I can get the mix today to sound exactly what it sounded like when I bounced the original mix. I wrote down my settings of all the EQs so that for exactly this reason, so that if I had to recall the mix, I could pull up the same settings and get the same sound.
I know the sign, it was right in front of me. You be going through my phone, behind my back like a creep. Calling all my boys, unexpected just to see where I was at.
Now I'm printing this mix recall. And this mix, I mixed it to tape. This is a Studer 2-inch A827 tape machine. After the tape machine, this mix is going back into Pro Tools, where if you can see on my master bus, I'm doing some fancy EQ work, a couple plugins there. And that's it. And then I gotta print stems, which I'm actually not gonna have time for today. So I'm gonna go play soccer instead, man. That's the vibe, right? You know what I'm saying? So that's it for today, dudes. Today was pretty productive. Yo, if you guys have any questions, please comment. I'm happy to chat. And give me a subscribe. I'll be doing this a lot. Thanks for checking it out. Peace.
Girl, what you doing? Need to take it easy.